Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in the previous session, we have discussed about types of catalysis. Okay, yes, how many types are there? Yes, there are two types. What are those? Homogeneous and heterogeneous catalysis. ಹೌದಾ? ನಾವು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ? Types of catalysis ಅಂತ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. Yes, there are how many types? Two types. What are those? Homogeneous. ಹೌದಾ? Homogeneous and the second one heterogeneous. No? Yes. Then what do you mean by homogeneous? ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನು homogeneous ಅಂದ್ರೆ say here homo same geneous phase, hetero different. Again geneous means phase. So what phases we are comparing? Phases of a reactants and a catalyst. ಹೌದಾ ನಾವು ಏನು phase ನೋಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ? The physical state of all reactants and catalyst. If they present in same phase, then it is called homogeneous. Okay. ಯಾವಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ homogeneous ಅಂತ? If all reactants and catalysts are present in a single phase, same phase, then it is called homogeneous catalysis. ಹೌದಾ? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವು? ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ heterogeneous ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ. So what is the meaning of heterogeneous catalysis? Here all reactants catalysts are present in a different phase, or else even we can say in more than one phase, is called heterogeneous catalysis. Okay, well, so we considered definitions and even we considered examples for these homogeneous and heterogeneous catalysis. Okay, well, in this session I am going to deal with the continuous part of the chapter, that is adsorption theory of heterogeneous catalysis. Okay, what is the type title here? Adsorption theory of heterogeneous catalysis. We know the meaning of heterogeneous catalysis. As we said, it is a type of, say here, all reactants. Okay, ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ heterogeneous catalysis. What is the meaning? All reactants and catalyst. Okay, ನಾವೇನು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೀವಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? All reactants and catalyst are present in, okay, are present in how many phases? Different phases. Okay, ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದೀವಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? They are present in different phase, or even what I can say, more than one phase ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Okay, ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. So if I consider heterogeneous catalysis, here all reactants, ನಾನು ಏನು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? I am again and again specifying all reactants. Say if there is a, say R1, R2, R3, say these are the reactants product, say catalyst C. If R1 is gaseous state, R2 is gaseous state, say R3 is in solid state, catalyst is in gaseous state. Here I have to say R1 and R2 are present in gaseous state, catalyst is present in gaseous state. But what about R3? R3 is present in solid state. Can I say it is homogeneous or heterogeneous? Yes, it is a heterogeneous. Okay, to say homogeneous, all reactants, okay, all reactants and catalyst must be in a same phase. But here what happens? Say two reactants and catalyst are in gaseous phase, while one of the reactant is present in a solid phase. So it is not a homogeneous. So it is an example for heterogeneous catalysis. So definitions are very important. So here if I consider heterogeneous, so all reactants and catalyst, if they are present in different phase, or I can say more than one phase, then such catalysis is called heterogeneous catalysis ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Well, now if I consider how the catalysis takes place, we know that during catalysis what happens? Reactants, okay, reactants get converted into product. So ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು chemical reaction ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನು? So reactants are get converted into product. That is, one form of a matter is converted into another form. Now if the reaction is influenced by presence of a catalyst, ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಕರೀತೀವಿ? That phenomenon is called catalysis ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೀವಿ. ಹೌದಾ? If the reaction is influenced by presence of catalyst, then the phenomenon is called catalysis. Further ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ catalysis ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಟೈಪ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ. We discussed it, homogeneous, heterogeneous ಅಂತ ಕಲ್ತೀವಾ. So homogeneous and heterogeneous, we studied the types also. Now we are looking for adsorption theory of which one? Heterogeneous catalysis. ಏನು ಇದು adsorption theory ಅಂದ್ರೆ what we are dealing is, we actually dealing what happens or how that a heterogeneous catalysis takes place. How that heterogeneous catalysis takes place means we have to consider reactants, catalyst and product. How they interact with one another is studied under the title adsorption theory of a catalysis. Well, if I consider the adsorption theory of a catalysis, means we are looking for mechanism. So this mechanism of catalysis involves according to adsorption theory of, okay, adsorption theory of heterogeneous catalysis. What it says, the mechanism of catalysis involves how many steps? 5 steps. Well, when you look at the stepwise analysis, the first one, diffusion of reactants on the surface of a catalyst. Andre first ಏನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, diffusion of reactants on the surface of a catalyst. Say in a reaction mixture, say in a vessel, what we do, we take a reactant molecules, all reactant molecules will be taken, right, and to this catalyst is added. ಹೌದಾ, reactant molecules ಜೊತೆಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, so we are going to add catalyst. Say it is a catalyst molecule. Now according to adsorption theory of catalysis, what it says, first what happens, the reactant molecules diffuses on the surface of a catalyst. Well, so diagrammatically if you analyze, say catalyst on the surface, what happens, the reactant molecules will be get diffused. So these are the reactant molecules, they get diffused on the surface of a catalyst. Okay, so according to adsorption theory, what is the first step? Diffusion of reactants on the surface of a catalyst. Okay, well, next second step ಏನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ, once diffused what happens, say we know that catalyst provides, catalyst ಏನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, catalyst provide surface area, catalyst provide surface area for what, surface area for reaction, surface area for a reaction. To reaction to occur, catalyst is going to provide surface area. Means here on the surface of a catalyst, what happens, reactant molecules come closer to one another. Before diffusion, what happens, reactant molecules are far away from one another. Once they get diffused on the surface of a catalyst, okay, so once they diffused, what happens, the reactant molecules come closer enough to interact with one another. Andre enagutte, once diffused, these reactant molecules come closer to one another, they come very close to one another so that interaction is possible. Once they interact, what happens, say on the surface of a catalyst, on the surface of a catalyst, what happens, as the reactant molecules interact, so there will be formation of an intermediate. Our reactant molecules interact agi enagutte, they form an intermediate. So once diffused, what is the second step, adsorption of reactant molecules on the surface of a catalyst. They will be get adsorbed properly so that they come close enough to one another. These reactant molecules come close enough to one another so that they interact. Okay, when they interact after adsorption, so first what we said, first they diffuse, right, diffusion of reactant molecules takes place. Second, once diffused, they are get adsorbed properly, adsorption of reactant molecules takes place. Once adsorbed, they come close enough so that they interact with one another. So then what is the next step, so the next step will be, what happens, there will be formation of a product through intermediate formation. So these reactant molecules, they interact. Okay, whatever the reactant molecules earlier I have showed, say they came close enough. First they diffused, then adsorbed. Okay, so when adsorbed, they come very close to one another, so that what happens? They interact. So there will be formation of intermediate, then intermediate is get converted into product. Okay, there will be formation of a product molecule on the surface of a catalyst. Once product formed, what happens? Whether product remains on the surface of a catalyst? No. Then the third step is completed, that is formation of product through intermediate formation. That is the third step. Then in the fourth step, what happens? Once product formed, whatever product formed, it won't remain on the catalyst surface. Rather, what happens? Desorption takes place. Andre first step ಏನು diffusion. Just recall, first step diffusion, second ಏನಾಯಿತು adsorption. Okay, diffused reactant molecules will be get adsorbed on the surface of a catalyst. And third step ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ formation of product. Okay, product formation ಆಗುತ್ತೆ through intermediate formation. So once product formed, now we are looking for what happens? Whatever product formed, it won't remain on the surface of a catalyst. Rather, will be desorbed. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Desorption takes place. ಅಂದ್ರೆ fourth step ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Whatever product formed, the desorption product from the catalyst surface takes place. So what I can say here, once product formed, it will be removed from the surface. Okay, desorption takes place. The process of removal of substances from the surface is considered as a desorption. Once desorption takes place, now what happens? In the fifth step, okay, in the fifth step, diffusion of product away from the catalyst surface. So those product molecules will be diffused away. They diffuse away from the catalyst surface. Now at the end, when you analyze the catalyst, earlier catalyst is remains in its same state. Once soon after the reaction, also catalyst remains in its same position, or I can say quantitatively and chemically it remains unchanged. Or else, in another words, even I can say catalyst is regenerated at the end of a reaction. So even I can show diagrammatically overall. First, what's the first step? Diffusion, right? Diffusion. So once diffusion takes place, what is the next step? Adsorption. Okay, adsorption of reactant molecules on the catalyst takes place. Once they get adsorbed, they come close enough so that they interact among themselves, which leads to formation of a product. So third step is product formation through intermediate. Once product formed, what happens? Product won't remain on the catalyst surface, so will be desorbed. Desorption takes place. Okay, desorption of product from the catalyst surface takes place. Once a desorption takes place, so diffusion of product molecules takes place. So last step is diffusion of products takes place from the surface of a catalyst. In the first step, diffusion of reactants are diffused. So at the last, what happens? Product molecules will be diffused away from the catalyst surface so that catalyst is regenerated. Well, is it clear? So if I consider adsorption theory of heterogeneous catalysis, yes, the mechanism, according to this theory, mechanism of catalysis involves how many steps? 5 steps. First one, diffusion of reactants on the catalyst surface. Second, adsorption of reactants on a catalyst surface. Okay. Third step, formation of product through intermediate. Then the fourth step, desorption of product molecules from the catalyst surface. And the fifth one, diffusion of product molecules away from the surface of a catalyst. So is very important. Please remember the 5 steps involved in adsorption theory of a heterogeneous catalysis. Okay, well, the important features, if I consider characteristics of a solid catalyst. Okay, characteristics, or I can say important features of a solid catalyst. So in general, all solid catalysts are going to have two important features. They are considered as activity. Okay, first one is activity of a catalyst, and second one selectivity. Okay, all catalyst, all solid catalyst are going to have two important features. What are those? Activity and selectivity. Well, we try to understand these two terms. What is the meaning of activity of a catalyst and selectivity of a catalyst? Well, coming to the first one ಏನಿದೆ? Activity of a catalyst ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. Yes, what is activity? Activity is nothing but is the ability. ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು? Is the ability of a catalyst. For what? Ability of a catalyst to increase in the rate of a reaction. ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, what is the activity of a catalyst? Is the ability of a catalyst to enhance ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Activity ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಿದು? Ability of a catalyst to enhance. Enhance ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಥವಾ increase ಅಂತಾನೂ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. To enhance and to enhance the rate of a reaction. Okay, so ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು? Activity of a catalyst ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So the ability of a catalyst to increase the rate of a reaction, to enhance the rate of a reaction is called its activity. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? So all solid catalysts are going to have their activity, means they vary with respect to their activities. Some catalysts, their activity is very high, and some other catalysts, their activity is less. So here activity meaning is the ability of a catalyst. Okay, activity ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ? Is the ability of a catalyst to increase the rate of a chemical reaction is called activity. Okay, well, if we consider the reactants must get adsorbed reasonably strong on the catalyst to become active. So during catalysis, what happens? As I said, reactant molecules must be get adsorbed properly so that reaction takes place with the maximum product formation. So if I consider one example here for hydrogenation reaction, okay, hydrogenation reaction, say the catalytic activity for hydrogenation reaction, the catalytic activity increases from group 5 to group 11. Andre, now if you analyze group wise, so catalytic activity increases from group 5 to group 11. And what group elements they have maximum activity? Usually group number 7 to 9. So group number 7 to 9 elements, they show maximum activity. Okay, then for hydrogenation reaction, the catalytic activity increases from group 5 to group 11. Group 5 ಇಂದ group 11 ವರೆಗೂ increase ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. Maximum ಯಾವುದು ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತೆ? Group 7 to 9 metals. Okay, well, the reaction equation, if I consider 2H2 plus O2 gives rise to, okay, 2H2O liquid hydrogenation reaction. So formation of what? So here platinum is used as a catalyst. Okay, so is an heterogeneous catalysis. Now coming to the second feature of a catalyst, what is that? Selectivity of a catalyst ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. Selectivity ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ select ಅಂತ ಇದೆನಾ? Select ಅಂದ್ರೆ choose ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಹೌದಾ? Select, so other meaning choose, means selectivity usually, okay, usually we can understand it by considering, say, selectivity, choose, to select. What it select? It selects the type of product formed. Okay, type of product formed is selected by whose? Is selected by catalyst. Say chemical reaction is going to give particular product. That type of product formed even depends on the, that is nature of product formed, or else I can say type of product formed, it depends on even presence of a catalyst. If you use a different catalyst, we are going to end up with a different type of products, which means yes, catalyst has a tendency to direct reaction to give a particular product. So here what we can say here, the selectivity of a catalyst is nothing but it is the ability. Again what we are saying, ability of a catalyst to direct a reaction, ability of a catalyst to direct a reaction to give particular product. Okay, so please remember, so activity means ability to enhance the rate of a reaction. Selectivity means ability to direct a reaction to yield particular product is called selectivity. ಅದಕ್ಕೇನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು selectivity ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Well, we analyze it with the example. Now if I consider a reaction between H2 and CO, ಅಂದರೆ a reaction between hydrogen and carbon monoxide at different conditions. If you use different catalyst, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ ನೋಡು, if you use a different catalyst, we get a different product. Say reactants are common. So what is the example I am specifying? Here reactants are common, hydrogen and carbon monoxide. If you use a different catalyst, we are getting different product. It means the type of product formed, who is going to decide that? Yes, the catalyst is deciding the type of product formed. So that ability of catalyst to direct a reaction to yield particular product is called its a selectivity. Well, we analyze examples. The first example, so when I look at the reaction equation, say what is the catalyst used here? Nickel is used as a catalyst. How the what we are using? We are using nickel as a catalyst. Reactants, carbon monoxide and hydrogen. So nickel is used as a catalyst. When you look at the product formed, so what is the product formed here? That is methane. Illen bandide namage methane sikkide. When you use nickel as a catalyst, say it's a formation of methane and water. Say carbon monoxide reacts with hydrogen in presence of nickel, to give what is the product? Methane and water. Okay, methane and water vapors will be formed here. Well, catalyst nickel, product methane and water. If I analyze the second example, in the second example also, what are the reactant molecules? Carbon monoxide and hydrogen. So reactants, again, reactants are same. First, carbon monoxide and hydrogen. In the second also, carbon monoxide and hydrogen. Now, if I consider catalyst, just analyze the catalyst used here. What is the catalyst? A copper. Copper is used as a catalyst with the zinc oxide or chromic oxide. Cr2O3. So copper, a mixture of copper with zinc oxide is used as a catalyst. So now I can say here copper is used as a catalyst. Now if I analyze the product, so what is the product formed here? Yes, the product formed is methanol. Product ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? Methanol, alcohol is formed. In the first case, if you use nickel, what is the product? Methane is formed. If you use copper as a catalyst, okay, methanol is formed. Now, second, third equation. So again, reactants are common. Now we are using copper alone is used as a catalyst. Okay, here copper along with the zinc oxide and chromite ore Cr2O3 or chromic oxide is used. Here product formed is methanol. Now when we use copper alone, okay, now the product formed is formaldehyde. The product ಏನು ಬರ್ತಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? When we use copper alone, the product formed is formaldehyde. Yes, now if you analyze it, say reactants are common. Every time reactants are common, but what is the change? When we use different catalyst, we are getting different products. Methane, methanol, formaldehyde. Then what it indicates? Yes, catalyst has a tendency. So whatever the catalyst we use, it has a tendency to direct the reaction. The catalyst ಏನಿದೆ, it has a tendency, it has the ability to direct a reaction to give particular product. ಈ particular product ಕೊಡೋ ತರ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ? Catalyst ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ ನೇಚರ್ ಏನು ಕರಿತಿದೀವಿ ನಾವು? It is called selectivity. Okay. Well, so two terms, or I can say two features of a catalyst. What are those? Activity and selectivity. Please remember the definitions and example. Okay. Well, then what is the conclusion we can draw by this analysis? First thing, the action of catalyst. The action of catalyst is highly selective in nature. How the? What it mean? The catalyst, a given substance, can act as a catalyst only for a particular reaction, but not for all reactions. So remember, the action of a catalyst is highly selective in nature, highly specific in nature. Okay. Then, if I consider any given substance, it acts as a catalyst only in a particular reaction and at particular conditions, but not for all reactions. Or else in another words, I can say there is no universal catalyst. As like universal indicator we used to say, but there is no universal catalyst. All catalysts are highly specific in nature with respect to their activity. Okay, well. Then coming to the MCQs, well, what is the first question? The ability of a catalyst ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ the ability of a catalyst in increasing the rate of a reaction ಏನು ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ the ability of a catalyst in increasing the rate of a catalyst ಆ ability ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು first option activity, second reactivity, third selectivity, and the fourth one all of these. So the ability of a catalyst to enhance, to increase the rate of a reaction is called yes activity of a catalyst. ಅದಕ್ಕೇನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು activity ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Okay, well, then coming to this next one, the ability of a catalyst ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ability to direct a reaction to yield particular product ಏನು highlight ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ particular product ಅಂತ highlight ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. Okay, the ability to direct a reaction to yield particular product is called first option activity ಇದೆ, second reactivity, third selectivity, and the fourth one all of these ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ? What is the answer? Yes, it is selectivity. Okay, well, so with this I'm going to conclude about this session. Again, in the next session we'll continue the remaining part. Okay, thank you, be safe.